What's going on? Happy Sunday morning. The day after the 4th of July. Pray everybody had a safe and a wonderful celebratory 4th of July. Happy birthday, America. And so let's talk about the black lady. I loosely say lady, okay? The black woman who shot an unarmed white man at a Walmart. It's always Walmart, right? Down in Florida, and took his life over a parking dispute. All right. And so let's talk about it as I walk my buddy Samson here early in the morning before I head off to work. Okay. All right. So this just recently happened. I was gonna talk about it yesterday on the 4th, but I wasn't trying to dampen anybody's mood on such an incredible day, right? But this is a conversation we need to have, and I want to have this conversation with my white Americans who are subscribed to my channel or who may come across this video, right? I have a message for you, all right? This is important. So, as far as the legalities go, was it self-defense? Was it not? I'm not really going to get into that. I mean, you can make both sides of the argument. Personally, I don't think it's self-defense, right? Self-defense has to be in proportion. Meaning, like if I'm confronted with somebody who has a weapon, then I'm able to use a weapon to defend myself, right? It has to be proportional. If somebody steps on my sneakers, I can't just pull out a gun and take their life over it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But I'm not going to get into the legalities of it. Let's leave it to the court system. I think she should be charged. That case should be put forth in front of a jury. That's just my opinion on it. Now, but that's not what I want to talk about. So, for my white Americans out there, y'all need to learn to recognize the niggas, all right? And see, I'm gonna share a little personal thing on this first and foremost. Now, if you seen my video yesterday, my video, the last before the last, all right? I talked about this. There's a big difference between black Americans and the niggas, all right? And people need to be able to recognize who they're dealing with, because niggas are racist, hateful, violent, and stupid. There's no reasoning with the nigga, all right? Now you have black Americans, good, hardworking, patriotic black folks. There are those in that community. They're not full of hate and anger and racist attitudes. They don't have the victim mindset. They don't see everything through the color of their skin. They're good people, all right? We have good and bad people in every race. And in the black community, the good people would be the regular, hardworking black Americans. We all know those folks. And then the niggas, all right? You need to be able to recognize the difference in this culture that we live in today. Austin Metcalf, he crossed paths with the nigga. Only a nigga would take a knife to a track meet, a high school track meet, and go start a confrontation under another team's tent. That's nigga behavior, all right? For this man who unfortunately crossed paths with a nigga in the Walmart parking lot, I guess there was a dispute over a parking spot. Happens every day across this country. I've seen it, I've experienced, we all have, okay? It's something that's so natural in these, environments, right? And, I don't know, there's so many other details that a lot of people are leaving out, right? That form their own agenda opinion. But one fact that you can't leave out is that this black woman, right? She gets out of her car with the gun in her hand already. See, right there, that's nigga behavior. You got an issue with somebody over a parking spot. If y'all want to argue and have words or whatever, trade insults back and forth, that's normal. But to get out of your car with your gun in your hand already, see, she had intent to already use it, and she was threatening him with the gun. Now, personal story, I've been shot before, right? I got shot 3 times. And after that, I didn't have any fear of somebody holding a gun to me, right? So I've been in a situation like that where people done drew down on me, and I still confront them. Like, I wasn't scared no longer of the weapon. And I believe that the white man who was a military veteran, he, being around weapons like that, he didn't fear the weapon. He should have feared the nigga, okay? And so what I just want to say is that for my white folks out there, y'all need to be able to recognize when you're dealing with a nigga or a regular black person. So you could deal with, good black folks. You can talk to them, y'all can reason it out, whatever, both walk away. Haven't said what they need to say and still be alive, okay? But when you cross paths with a nigga, there is no reasoning with these people. They're irrational. They're stupid. They're racist, hateful, violent, and stupid. There's no reasoning with these people. Her getting out of the car with the gun in her hand showed you she already had intent to use it, And I know him being a military veteran, when he saw this woman draw down a pistol on her, he just was like, whatever, man, I'm not scared of your gun. I'm going to still say what I want to say to you, being a-hole about all this, and you got a gun on me. So I know he, in his mind, that's how he looked at it. But he didn't see her as the nigga that she is. You know what I'm saying? And that right there cost him his life, And I just want to be able to say that. I know many may find this word offensive, but it's the conversation that we need to start having, because there are two groups of people within the black community, and the niggas is what's causing the problem and the issues in this country, okay? And I just want to say this, man, people need to be able to recognize when you're dealing with a nigga. When you cross paths with this subgroup of black people, walk away. So, at all costs, avoid these people at all costs, because they are not good people, okay? And him not recognizing the nigga in her cost him his life, as well as Austin Metcalf, Irina, that white chick that was on the subway, not paying attention. There's countless cases of white folks losing their lives at the hands of niggas. You know what I'm saying? Niggas kill each other, right? We see that all the time. Black on black violence is nigga on nigga violence, all right? In fact, just here in Michigan, at a mall I used to always go to, Fairlane Mall in Dearborn, Michigan, or Southfield somewhere. I'm not thinking about it. But anyway, it was at Fairlane Mall. Couple niggas inside the mall had a shootout and took the life of another man, right? And so that's what I'm saying. These niggas, that they're violent. Who goes to a mall on the 4th of July and kills somebody? Only niggas do that. That's nigga behavior. And so I know for white folks, they'll say, oh, that word is rape. Whatever, man. These are those people. Call a spade a spade. If that's a nigga, call it a nigga and avoid at all costs. Save your life, all right? Now, when you come across good, decent, hardworking black Americans, you can have conversations, you can have arguments, you can have disputes, and still walk away with your life, okay? But when you cross paths with these niggas, just avoid at all costs, right? Within the black community, we can recognize the difference. You can tell, you know what I'm saying? And I know white people have been beaten down so bad that you can't say what a thing is without being ostracized and bullied. But I think white folks need to get beyond that and stop caring. You know what I'm saying? Call it what it is, and avoid these people at all costs. Save yourselves, all right, from this subgroup of animals. That's all they are. They're not worth the skin that they're in, right? And that's just the truth of it. And I think it's time that we start having a boycott niggas movement. For sure. You know what I'm saying? It's time that we start calling these people out, and we start boycotting, segregating them, and ostracizing this subgroup of humans that live in our country when they are the animals. They're violent. You don't want to cross paths with these niggas at all, right? You don't want to live around them, and you don't want to cross paths with them. And that's unfortunately this military veteran at that Walmart, he crossed paths with a nigga who jumps out of a car with a gun in her hand over a parking dispute, and she shot him and took his life. And personally, I pray she goes to prison for that. But we'll let the courts decide, and you know, we got to trust our legal system. That's what it's there for, and so be it. But anyway, thank you for watching. I pray everybody have a blessed and a wonderful day. If you haven't already, hit subscribe, leave a like and a comment. I welcome it all. Until next time.